Who is Kamala Harris? Well, start off, Kamala Harris is an anchor baby of a Puerto Rican Bohemian father and an Indian mother. Not feather, not a Native American, an Indian mother. And you see the picture right there. True American values right there. We got the dot painted on. We got the different clothing. That's her upbringing. That's where she comes from. She was raised in Canada, raised abroad. Her family, on her father's side, they were slave owners in the Caribbean. It's been proven. That's kind of that. And what she did as AG kind of killed her in the presidential race against Biden and against some of the other candidates. She was taken out very quickly because she has done nothing. Everything that she has done she's been that DEI hire. Before we even heard of DEI, she has been that DEI hire. She claims to be an African American when it suits her. You see her going to the South and trying to pull off an accent. You see her going to the North and talking about slavery and Jim Crow. She nor her parents, none of her family went through any of that. He's Puerto Rican. She's from India. Produced a child, which was an anchor baby. They weren't U.S. citizens at the time. That's who Kamala Harris is. But she panders to the black community. And I did not say African Americans. I said the black community because they're from all over the world. But she panders to them. And then when she, like I said, she goes to the South, she kicks on her Kamala voice and her stupid cackle trying to gain votes down there. You know what? People aren't dumb. They see right through this. Now, think about her work as the AG. She jailed thousands of people for marijuana crimes, small cannabis charges. She put people in jail. She left them in past their sentencing time with all these crazy moves that she made. Even the liberal state of California rebuked her several times for what she did. And under her watch, evidence became just kind of a fluid thing. It would go missing out of the evidence room. It would go missing from cases. They lost a lot of cocaine. Finally, she was sued, and the court slapped her down in the scathing decision that she had to disclose these things to the defense. That, hey, we don't have the evidence anymore that we're prosecuting your client for. We can't produce this evidence in court. It was one of the staffers took the cocaine home. I mean, how does that happen and nobody gets prosecuted except some poor guy on the street that had a little bit of marijuana? Sure, it's illegal. I don't condone it. But does that person really deserve a harsher sentence than someone sworn to protect that steals the evidence, takes it home and snorts it? And we come to the biggest thing that she denies all the way around, but she, on Twitter, was panhandling for money to bond Antifa members out of jail. There's the tweet right there on your screen. She was trying to bond these people out of jail during the Minnesota riots. Remember those mainly peaceful riots that almost burned down the entire city of Minneapolis? Well, turns out one of the people that she bonded out committed a murder. So she got the funds. She was running for president. She's supposed to be seeking the second highest office in the land, swears an oath. She already swore that oath as an AG. She violated that oath by bonding criminals out of jail so they could continue their crimes as peaceful protesters. That was just small potatoes. The most egregious thing, Harris had parents jailed. There was a law in California about juvenile delinquency from schools. She was actually locking parents up. Now, the funny thing is, they would get a fine, $2,500, or if their kid didn't attend the public school as they were supposed to, they were actually charged and put in jail. Now, her rebuttal to this, well, the bill had some unintended and unfortunate consequences. It's a bill that she sponsored. She sponsored the bill, didn't know what was in it. So obviously somebody wrote the bill for her. She sponsored it, pushed it through as a feel-good kind of thing to make sure kids are getting in school. And the bill was terrible. So parents are getting locked up because their kids didn't go to school. In some cases, the really bad one was an autistic child that was in the hospital, missed 10 days of school. The parents were actually fined $2,500. Now, it was worked out in court, but is that what you really need? You have a sick child that's autistic and had some physical ailments, winds up in the hospital for an extended period of time, and here you get charged and fined by Kamala Harris. I mean, is this the kind of person we want in charge of the armed forces? She's an easy target. I mean, we can hit her all day long. We just use her own press clips. We all get tongue twisted. We all make gaffes. Just speaking to a dead camera in the middle of the afternoon is not an easy thing sometimes. You're trying to read notes. I'm trying to read my notes on the paper, look at the screen, make sure I'm looking at the camera. We all screw up, but not every single time. Every time that woman gets in front of a camera, she cackles and goes into that hysteric laughter. That is some kind of psychological sign there. She's under way too much stress. Her life has been really kind of a failure. She hasn't performed any of her jobs to standard. And, it's a pretty low bar to be an AG. You have employees that fight the battles for you. You just manage the office and you take the big cases if you're a good attorney, but she wasn't a good attorney. And then we have Border Czar Kamala. We haven't seen these numbers ever in the United States. Biden gave her one kind of to-do job, and that was to be the border czar. Now, during this time that she's been vice president of border czar, she has not talked to Border Patrol. She has not talked to the chief of the Border Patrol, either chief, the outgoing or the incoming. She has not bothered to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, Joe made me the border czar. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to call you and ask for your advice. We don't even get a phone call from her. And you see the numbers now. Oh, well, the numbers are going down across the border. That's because they're flying them in on flights. That's part of her deal with all the NGOs. This is what's running for president of this nation. So, folks, you got to do the right thing. You got to get out and vote. Looks like that voter enthusiasm is really high right now. The numbers look good. Don't let that fool you. Don't let you sit at home. Grab your neighbor, grab a friend, go vote. If you're a mail-in state, take your ballot into the recorder's office, put it in a secure place, do what you got to do with it so it's just not floating around in the postal service. We gotta have the participation rate. That's the only way to beat the cheat. We are the ones that are too big to fail. When we fail is because we don't vote.
Mike Lindell here, and like you, I see our country being destroyed daily. We face massive economic issues, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are people in power who threaten the values that have made our country great. Well, I've been a believer in gold and silver for a long time, and I've searched for years for a partner that shares my values. Well, Genesis Gold Group showed me how easy it is to protect your IRA, 401k, or your retirement with gold and silver. Their faith-driven approach to service and stewardship is one that stands out from the rest.
To get your free definitive gold guide and get started learning more about investing in gold and protecting your retirement from uncertain times, visit treasureandtrust.com now. Fill out the basic contact form and a member of the team will be in touch. Again, that's treasureandtrust.com or call 855-625-7760.